just you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on my channel. In today's video we are actually vlogging. I have no clue if this is going to be just like a daily vlog or maybe over the course of a week. I'm just in the mood to do a little vlog. So that is what we were doing. I am actually going to go ahead, load up the wagon with a couple boxes and bags of donation and then take that down to the thrift store. After we're at the thrift store, of course we're going to kind of check it out just a little bit, and then my son and I, we're just kind of going to go to a local park and I'm just going to try and walk for maybe like an hour or two. So that is the goal. We are still in a heat advisory. We've been in a heat advisory for a couple weeks now, and I think I'm turning around the pool because when I got injured with my knee, I didn't touch it for a week, and I also forgot to turn on and off the pump, so it stayed off the entire time and had algae all over it. So, and we had a lot of storms too, so that wasn't helping. And right now everything's good but the chlorine level, but with the weather right now it's just really hard to keep the chlorine up, even adding chlorine and shock and other things in. But now the pool water is clear. I don't necessarily see algae, so maybe I can get that. I know eventually I need to work on this flower bed too. It is a complete disaster again, very overgrown. And then another thing that I definitely need to do, or Josh and I had planned to do, is we want to take the V down to a town that has lights above, and then we want to get some photos down there. So that's a few plans that I'm hoping to insert into this vlog. Otherwise it's just going to be whatever I happen to do. If I feel like putting it into this vlog, I will. Without further ado, let's go ahead and load up the wagon. Alright, we are back home. I was going to run to the post office, grab a couple more stamps, and also kind of mail out or drop off our water bill. I mean, since our water isn't due for another 15 days, I guess it's gonna have to wait. After walking over, technically, I think it was like 2.07 miles or so, I slowed down and I was doing some other stuff with our son, and then I let him play on a play set, and I was constantly putting water on both of us, and then I was taking in a lot of water. He was too, but I was trying to keep both of us really cool, and for him, he was good. He's great because I was walking and pushing him, and it was just so hot, and the UV kept going up. And on top of that, we've been under a heat advisory for I don't know how many weeks, but it just was feeling like I was in the middle of a hayfield and it was not getting any better. So no matter how much water I put on myself, how much water I put in myself, I was starting to get real shaky and hot and almost like a cold feeling, and then I was getting a headache, and I was like, I need to stop. We need to go home. So I bypassed getting stamps and other things, and I just went straight home. Before we even went on a walk, we did go to the thrift store, dropped all that off, all the little donations, and then also I picked up a few other things. I spent about $20. I think it was $20.67 in total. I got our son, I kind of bribed him, where instead of getting a too young for him book that I knew was too young, but because it had buttons, he really wanted it, and I knew he was gonna get bored with it, I let him pick up like a little wooden game or like building fun activity. I don't know if you guys remember from like early 2000s. I assume they still use these in school, but like little wooden blocks that are shaped like this. Also shapes that you can make and little boards, and this is all wooden for $5. I mean, I'm sure it was probably around $5 in a store, but at the same time it's over 130 pieces or 129 pieces, and I felt like it was perfect for him because it will grow with him. It uses his brain a little bit more, and he can build things other than what they show on the wooden cards. And on top of that, it's one of those where the book, as much as I would have liked it for him, because I love books in general, for me, I probably would have gotten rid of it very quickly. This can stay in our cedar chest in the living room and stay with the board games, and he can get it out and play with it and sharpen his mind a little bit more. I picked up 6 DVDs, well 4 DVDs and 2 Blu-rays, and also a book, all for $20. So the first I'm going to talk about is the book. This is by Mary Downing Han or Han, whichever you say. I have no clue which way, but I read so many books and I own so many books from her. I grew up reading her little ghost stories, and this is one that, unless if it's because it's a new cover, I don't remember a single thing about this. So I wanted to pick it up and either read it for myself or just wait until our son is older and then read it to him, because I feel like he's going to love these books, and it's the same size. It'll fit good on my shelf. I can't really go wrong with that. The first DVD we have is actually God God's Not Dead. When this came out, my youth group took me, my sister, and a couple other people to the movie theaters, and we all watched this, and I loved this. I thought this was such a great movie. I love like Christian movies in general. So that is the first DVD, and along with that, we also have Courageous, which is another Christian movie, and I'm pretty sure this also has songs from Casting Crown, like the album Courageous, or at least they have a song called Courageous. I think it's actually the album Come to the Well. But I love this movie. I haven't seen it in so long. I've been thinking about getting into these movies again, like rewatching them more so, and I just found them for I don't know how much, to be honest, but with all of these DVDs, every single one, even the Blu-ray, all of them were completely brand new looking. They all look like they have never been scratched even once, so I felt like these are really two good options to start it off. I'm trying to grow our little media library, so I have a lot of VHS tapes, but I have a lot more DVDs, and with that, the first one that I was completing because I love the series growing up, like the book series, I actually have Allegiant, I have Divergent and Insurgent in like a double disc feature, so this is the only one left of that little trilogy that I had left to buy to complete it, and I was very excited about this. They did have Insurgent standalone too, but all of them are DVDs so far. Going along with trying to complete certain books that were adapted into movies, we also have the Hunger Games. I do have the original Hunger Games that I just thrifted not too many months ago. I don't have Catching Fire, and I don't have Mockingjay Part 1, but now I have Mockingjay Part 2, so if we can find the rest of them, that would be really good. And I don't care really if some of them are maybe Blu-ray or if some are DVD. If I'm thrifting these, I really don't care that much, but I'm just glad that I have another one down, and I think there's technically Songbirds and Snakes or Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but I don't think they have a Sunrise on the Reaping just yet. They might have already made a movie for that, but eventually I will probably get all of them and watch this because I don't remember a single thing about this, and I have Mockingjay on my TBR, so I really want to get to that this month and then go out and watch the movies, and I still have to watch Catching Fire. I'm behind, so I need to be thrifting Catching Fire very soon. And then finally, I have two Blu-ray DVDs left. The first one is actually Chris Kyle's American Sniper. I love this movie. I've only seen it I think once, but I also had the book from him and I read that. I know they're completely different, the book and the movie, but I feel like right now, especially everything going on with his wife, I feel like it's a little fitting, and personally, you can't go wrong with a military style book or movie, and I know this is a great movie, so of course for Blu-ray for a couple bucks, maybe like $2 at the most, I think this was perfect. And then the final one is Unbroken. I think back in 2020, give or take, I've read this book. I have never seen the movie since then. I've always been trying to find the movie, but I think it was during COVID, Netflix decided to do this thing where they're like, oh hey, if you're not in this location and you're not the household TV, you're no longer able to watch off Netflix. And my parents had the Netflix and then we had the Disney Plus, and we'd kind of mooch off each other. That was our little split deal. Well, us being in Wisconsin, when they started that up, I couldn't watch Netflix, and I think after, when we finally figured out a hack to bypass that a little bit, they finally took it off of Netflix. So I have never seen this movie, even though I read the book in 2020, give or take. I am very excited to actually watch this, see what this is like, because the book was phenomenal. I love the book. I love also like the Christian aspect at the end of this book, and I just thought that this was so good, and I'm so excited to watch it. I'm not gonna lie. So minus our son's game, all of this right here for $20, basically $21, I feel like was a really good deal. I'm so excited. I love going to thrift stores and especially looking for books. I mean, I've always loved looking for books, but in this case, I've been really getting into trying to build our media library more. So trying to find movies has been so much fun, especially the VHS tapes, because not all Goodwills or thrift stores have VHS tapes, but when you do find them, half the time they're really good because nobody wants them. So you can find really nice ones. I just wanted to show you guys what all we did and maybe what we didn't get to do, but I'm going to actually sit down, cool down, eat. I already changed my outfit, and I want our son and I to kind of eat and relax, and then here in a couple hours, Josh will probably, oh, nope. Here now, Josh will be on his way home. So a good little start to this vlog. Alright guys, I know I'm super dirty. I'm extremely dirty because I've applied so much tanning sunscreen because I can't use regular sunscreen, and I've had so much dirt on me, so ignore that. Also, yeah, I'm a little burnt, just a little bit. I don't know how much you can tell, but I'm a little bit burnt, and I'm starting to get burnt on my legs. My legs don't hardly ever burn, but let me turn you around and show you the front yard. I have not done the backyard. I'm probably going to save that for Josh to do because I think he really enjoys mowing. I know he really enjoys mowing, and he said basically if I wanted to do the front, to do the front. And I need to weed whack, and I also need to bag, but since I'm burning and I need a shower before we have to go do stuff tonight, like our son's practice, I rather not necessarily try and bag this. And also, like I said, I'm so burnt. So let me turn you around and let me show you guys. never updated you guys, but it's actually the next day, and believe it or not, guess what I'm doing again? I'm mowing, but I'm not mowing here. I'm mowing at the farm. Josh has been bush hogging the fields, and honestly, he probably only got the one done because they're so big that it takes literally all day to do one or two. And I did the farm side. I already mowed all that, and now I'm doing the backyard, so I might do a little overview of a little bit about what's been going on. And there have been ground hornets. That one just flew by me. There have been ground hornets all over the place out here. I'm over it. I'm not gonna lie. I need to be compensated for my experience over here. Hello, welcome to another day here for this vlog. The past probably 3 days, if not 4, I have no clue if I started this on Thursday or Friday, but every single day since the day that I started it, I have been doing nothing, or we have been doing nothing for the most part, but mowing. I mowed our front yard. I never even got to tackle our backyard, but then the next day we went over to Indiana, so an hour and a half away to go mow the farm, which is like 8 acres, and that took all day long. And when I mean all day long, I mean all day. And on top of it, it was like a field. It was so tall. It was taller than the front tires in some places on the mower, and it was bogging down the mower because it wasn't necessarily wet. Like, it hasn't rained in about a week, but because it's so tall, it hasn't really aired out. And on top of it, it was so thick because the farm is very nutrients, or has a lot of nutrients, so everything is very thick over there, which is both good but very, very bad when it gets out of hand. So we did that. Josh weed whacked. He started by actually brush hogging a couple of the fields that were overgrown, needed to be cut down. I started over at the farm side, and then I went over to my grandma's side, started working on that. By the time he was done bush hogging about a field, maybe a little bit into the second field, which we have like 4 or 5 fields, he came over, and my parents actually showed up later, and then they were kind of swapping vehicles, or swapping trucks, both of us. So they have our D-Max and we have their truck. That way they could pull their camper to go on like a little vacation. And so they set that up, and then they came over, and it was one of those where Josh and I were just kind of both mowing the backyard for a while. He got the 0 turnout that we have at the farm, and then we had our mower, or I had our mower, and I was trying to do passes, and he was so much faster than me, and he kept catching up to me, and we were messing around. And the front yard looks really good. I striped it kind of like I did our front yard. The backyard, we were getting it done. It was already dark. We had headlights on. Well, I had headlights on our mower on, but otherwise we were just spinning, chasing each other, having a grand old time. And then the next day, which actually was yesterday, we got up, we slept in really late because by the time we got home, I think it was like 1 to 2 a.m. So we slept into like noon, very late. And then by the time we actually got motivated, got moving out the door, and got up to my sister's place, which is also an hour and a half away in Indiana, we mowed her front yard. I weed whacked while Josh mowed, and actually he mowed her whole yard for the most part. So that was a couple hours within itself, because again, we're looking at like 4 or so acres. I don't know fully, but he didn't also mow all of it because she wanted some of it kept tall for a future project she's working on. So this weekend we have done nothing but mow, and when I say mow, I mean hours and hours and hours of it. So I haven't really recorded too much. I haven't been super productive in the like scheme of things. Also, our house has been on the back burner, and I hate to say that, but since we were so busy and since we were coming home so late and getting up so early for the most part, besides that one day, it has just been a catch-all. Like the kitchen is a catch-all place, like the table, a little bit of here with dishes and some stuff, and then the living room it's not too bad in the living room. Our bedrooms are a disaster in my mind, but I mean, our floor is picked up. Technically our son has toys on the floor, so, and I won't show you his room just because this is potentially our forever home, so I want to keep some things private. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff I need to work on today, and I have a lot of things that I'm trying to get done before tonight. We might go to the movies, even though we probably shouldn't, but we might go to the movies to see Bad Guys 2, because my husband really enjoyed Bad Guys, like the first one, and apparently it came out this past weekend, but since we were mowing, we never got to go. So we might go to a nice cinema and watch that, and maybe I'll kind of film just a little bit, not of the actual movie, but just while we're there. I already kind of started to thaw out my deer roast because I didn't think about it. I didn't know what I should do for supper because I made chicken yesterday before we left for my sister's, but Josh has eaten a lot of it and I've eaten a lot of it, so there isn't much chicken left. I think like 2 slices. I've decided to pull out some deer from the freezer at like 10 a.m. this morning. It is now 1. I have not even done anything but started the deer, as in putting it in the crock pot to thaw out by itself completely, which may not be the best way to do it, but I don't even care. And I went to the store just now. We just got back. I went to the store, grabbed a few things, spent like $100, even though I bought like 10 things. Outrageous. I don't know. I have to try and make a deer roast. That was my plan. That was my theory, at least. So we're covered for at least a couple more days. I'm hoping to actually make a grocery list and go get some groceries by the end of this week. Let me get started. I'm just gonna do a simple roast. I don't know if this is gonna taste good good. I don't know, we'll see. So in here we have our deer roast. Like I said, I just kind of set it in there. It is on high, and I think I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna probably switch it to low depending. On low was for 8 hours. 8 hours would put it around 9. We're gonna keep it on high. I don't have enough time for that. I am gonna go ahead and add in some of the things that I know I already have. One thing I seen that I'm gonna actually add in is this Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning. Apparently it will help with a little bit of the taste. I've never thought about using this for a roast, so this is going to be an experiment. I'm gonna put a bunch in here, honestly. I'm gonna use some steak seasoning. This is like the #1 thing to use on meat in general. I love it on my chicken, on the ground beef, and especially deer meat. Little bit of seasoning salt, some pepper, some basil, Italian seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder. Honestly, a little bit of smoked paprika. I use this on everything. A little bit of oregano, and then the tiniest bit of thyme. I was gonna flip it, but I'm gonna leave it alone. We need some beef broth or stock, doesn't really matter. It says 1 cup. I'm probably gonna add a little bit more though. We'll do 1.5. If nothing else, I can use some cornstarch to thicken it up. You need 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now I'm cheating. I'm using shredded carrots already because these were cheaper than the actual carrots and easier. We got a couple stalks of celery. Something new that I'm gonna add in is actually a couple mushrooms. Also, you can't forget your taters. I have 2 different ones. I have some yellow ones that I never used in a different recipe, so I need to use those up, and then a couple red ones. And now we are going to put in the world's juiciest, terrible onions ever. They have my eyes burning so bad. And then the final thing, because the taters are unseasoned, so it bothers me, just a little bit more steak seasoning. I happened to forget, but minced garlic as well. Putting the lid on, and for 5 hours, we are going. Can you see that? That's from the onion. It was so bad. All right, I hate to say this, but let me turn you guys around and show you what we're working with the kitchen, because it's a mess in my opinion, and it needs a lot of organizing. I do have one thing that, besides the crock pot, can be left out. Technically, I get a little pass because I had Pop-Tarts this morning, and I usually use them in the toaster, and I put them in a cabinet, or I put the toaster in a cabinet, so I will have to wait till that cools down. It's cooled down now, but at the time, it was not cooled down. I can't put that in the cabinet right after using it, so I get a little pass on that. Otherwise, it's a mess. The shoes honestly aren't that bad because I redid this last night because they were all over here and I was getting so annoyed. We need an actual, like a shoe caddy or just like a shoe bench or something, at least 2-tiered, if not 3. That way we can shove everything on there. It's our kitchen table. It looks so terrible. We do have these cokes that we can put up. I need to take that to the bedroom. We have some stuff that needs to go out to the garage. This honestly could probably go out to the garage because our pool isn't even open at the time. I can't get it open. We've been struggling with it since I got injured. This stuff, we have nowhere to put this full. We don't have enough cabinet space. Same with the grill stuff, so it's just been sitting on here. Then we have stuff for Brinks that they were supposed to come. They never showed up, so that's cool. And then more stuff that needs to go out to the garage. I do have my camera stuff because we took photos, I think Friday night. I had never put that up. Like I said, I get a little bit of a pass for this toaster, but these Cokes, we had them yesterday or last night when we went to my sister's to mow. They were in a lunchbox, and Josh took that lunchbox this morning, so those I'm okay. They just need to be put up like the rest of the Cokes. Here's where it gets messy. I did kind of organize this and stack it, but I have so many dishes to do. I also need to empty the dishwasher and put in, before I actually do these dishes, some tablets and clean the dishwasher, or maybe I should run a load and then do it. I don't know which way. Obviously we have the crock pot, and then I have some recipes that I need to actually pick up. I need to organize, clean the stove. Everything just needs to be cleaned and organized. The living room isn't too bad. Coming behind the couch or the little love seat, we do have this bin that I need to return to Walmart. I was thinking about trying to do it maybe today if I have time. Nothing's really sitting back here. Technically I need to sweep and fix all of the pillows and just kind of clean up, but our son currently is playing with his track. That will eventually be picked up and we'll sweep in here, but I'll let him play for now. Again, bear with me because I think the library is in complete chaos. Also, don't mind all the books back here. This is all like giveaway books. It's also a mess up there, but I'm not really going to organize them because at least they're up there on the top of my bookshelves, and I'm going to be getting rid of them. Coming in the library, we have a whiteboard. We need to move that. I think it was going to go out to our new garage whenever we build one, so we might just have to ship it downstairs for now. This desk, however, was Josh's desk, but then we found him a new one, actually at Menards. So we need to post this if we're going to try and sell it or just get rid of it. We have some toys in here that our son was playing with. My camera bag because I was getting stuff. Also, this camera box is a bunch of camera stuff that I was trying to find stuff, and then because I can't get to the closet, or it's hard to get to the closet, I just left it there. So I'm going to try and just ship this out somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know if it's going to be in front of that dresser in the kitchen, because if we're going to just get rid of it with the rest of the stuff, every scrap piece that's outside, all the old cabinets and stuff that the previous owners left, and also the stuff that we have added kind of to it from the house, we're going to hopefully take that this weekend to go to scrap and just get rid of it finally. But if not, I don't know. I don't know if we should take that and where to put it. Please don't mind the walls. These little things are the previous owners painted around everything for the most part, and when we moved my bookcases, we kind of forgot because we had taken down shelves when we first moved in and put my bookcases on this wall, but we moved things around in here, so ignore the purple. We will eventually repaint. It's just little by little pretty much, but Josh's area just needs a little bit organized. I need to put up some GoPro stuff. My desk, for the most part, I need to figure out if this is part of the desk and then throw away some trash I have. Otherwise, it's pretty simple, pretty clean. Again, bookcases, not really a problem. I don't know if I want to say don't judge me, because at the same time, this is disgusting. Like, I never leave my house like this normally, but we've just been so swamped. And then I didn't make the bed this morning. Whoops. I'll make it now. I'll make it later. But thankfully, I already deep cleaned the bathrooms not too many days ago, so those are good. Those are fresh, clean, perfect so far. I don't have to do that today. I'm great. I'm glad. Our son's bedroom, however, messy. Our bedroom, a little messy. Let me show you. This has been my catch-all, and I absolutely hate it. I have emptied out my work bag because I no longer am working anymore. So I have all of that stuff here, and then I have just some stuff from when I was getting ready, or I don't know. It's just my catch-all. I hate that. We need to do laundry. I need to just kind of organize in general. Like I said, make the bed. We need to get a little system for towels because my towel never dries since I actually have more hair than Josh. It's always wet, so it eventually smells musty. So I've been laying it on her kennel because the vent is right there and it kind of airs it out and dries it, and then I'll hang it up in the bathroom. But yeah, we're just looking at this. Like, the floor, is it picked up? It needs to be swept, don't mind that. But is it picked up? Yeah, kind of. Is it messy in here? Absolutely. I hate it. Great. And now I just noticed that my camera battery is about to die. And with that being said, my other camera battery is on the charger because it was dead. So I guess I'll start in our son's bedroom and pick up some other places that I wasn't necessarily going to record. And then I'll come back to you hopefully in like an hour, and then I will actually record and you guys can kind of clean with me. All right, Josh is on his way home. I have been cleaning. My batteries are pretty much all charged, which is great. However, I have not recorded a little bit of what I've been cleaning. I did go ahead and run the dishwasher after I emptied it, and that way I kind of cleaned it, got it all done. I need to load it up and actually rewash some things, or actually wash the dishes that I haven't washed. And supper's almost finished. I'm gonna unplug it right about the time when he gets here and let it just sit, kind of heated on low in theory, but it's gonna be off technically. And then I took photos. I took a couple hours away, cleaned up that desk, took photos of it, and I'm gonna post it on Facebook Marketplace, see if we can get like 50 bucks or so out of it. Not too much, just something. I did a little bit of cleaning. That desk now is in the kitchen by the dresser, which is really annoying because it's so crowded, but hopefully this coming weekend, so in like 4 or 5 days, we can load up the trailer that we just got, put all of our junk on it, and take it to the scrapyard. That's my goal, because last month we were supposed to do it, and it's only the second weekend of every month, and every single month we either have something going on where we have to be somewhere else, or we have like overtime or work or something like that. So it's really annoying. Josh is on his way home now, and we will be going to the movies, so I wanted to kind of do an update. Maybe I'll film me just loading up the dishwasher. I don't know. The living room is picked up. Our son picked up all his toys, but I haven't swept it just yet, and hopefully we can take this back to Walmart today. Our room is good. It is complete. It is cleaned. All I did is pretty much pick up and then swept. Smells good in here. The library is also complete, and look at how much better it looks without this desk over here. So glad to finally get to sweep that fully. It is a little crowded when you actually look in, I feel like, here, but we have the window and then the closet with the door. So this little section can't really be used. And of course, we have to have our internet on the ground because unless we put a shelf or a little tiny table, like very tiny, there's nowhere at all to put it with this closet door here. Also, I switched the clothes and hung up the jeans to dry. However, the living room is tackled and cleaned and refreshed. And same with the kitchen. It's looking pretty decent. I am waiting on the dishwasher to be done so I can load up just this little bit of dishes and then whatever we have for tonight. Otherwise, I did hand wash these. I'm waiting on those to dry and then I'll put those away. But it's nice and clean, and the table is also cleaned off here. The only issue with the kitchen is this. We have a scrap, and then we have, hopefully somebody will buy this. If nobody wants it, I'll just donate it. Well, I was gonna go outside and actually do some stuff, but it is raining. The only final thing I need to do, because I can't mow the backyard since it's raining and it is a mess back there, it really needs to be mowed. I need to pick up all the pressure washer and all the cleaning supplies that we had when we were washing cars and we just didn't pick them up. Also, I need to put the stroller back probably downstairs, our son's little car in the garage, and just clean this whole back porch up. Back porch cleaned up. We don't have a reel anymore for this, so this hose just has to kind of sit around. It sucks, but you know, it is what it is. This front flower bed is one thing that I was going to work on. You can see how absolutely terrible it is. It's so overgrown. I think about a week ago, I had this fixed again. You could see the hostas, you could see the lilies that were here. Now you can't see anything. It grows so fast. We need to redo it. Honestly, take everything up, put a weed barrier down, and then I want to pick the flowers that go in here. Something not like these lilies, because I had to trim these because they were so bushy that they went all the way halfway to the sidewalk. I don't like that look. It looks overgrown to me, especially this look. I hate this look. But we've been so busy, and also it's been so hot with the heat advisory before that I just couldn't keep bending down without feeling like I was going to pass out for some reason. So this has been on the back burner. This is something I really wanted to do, so maybe in the future I'll get to it, and it will be in this video as well. The only thing left I have to do is wash our shop towels. We haven't washed these in a while, and we've been washing vehicles every weekend pretty much for car shows and the drag strip and stuff, so these need to be deep soaked, deep cleaned in the washer. All right, everybody, it's another day. Yesterday, I kind of took a break. I did a couple things that I needed to work on, and then I read a bunch. I think I read about 100 pages, which I probably should have included into this vlog, but I just didn't think about it. However, I'm going to tackle the front flower bed. I might get the hose out, spray it down just a little bit so the ground is a little bit wet, so it's easier to pull everything, but I am getting sick and tired of it, and I feel like today's the day. I was so bored yesterday. I went on another walk. It was like almost a 3-mile walk. It was like 2.6, I think, in total. So I don't know if we're gonna do that again today. I know our son has practice later tonight, so we have to worry about that. And then I'm so bored right now, so I want to go outside and I want to go do some stuff that needs to get done, and today is that flower bed. So I'll record a little bit and then I can fast forward and show you guys the progress. So as a reminder, this is what it's looking like. Completely overgrown, terrible. This piece in particular is so tall that it goes up to my hip. It's very tall, very terrible. I'd say a good like 3.5 feet. We got to try and find all the good plants, or good plants like the lily, and try and dig all the rest up. Alright, I'm about halfway done. I have this little section here, but I did all this side, or this middle section, a lot better. You can see I was just getting the big stuff here, and then about here I stole our son's little car and I started getting on here and riding it as I'm picking, kind of like a flower garden, a flower bed knee pad on wheels type thing. So I have that a lot better, so I have to come back after I'm done and get all of this stuff over here. The only issue that I'm really seeing, besides that this is like super thick over here and a lot of like trees are trying to grow, are these little things. I rather kill myself than deal with them, but they're not as bad as ground hornets, so I guess I like wasp a little bit more. They have been watching me as I was sitting underneath this window, and I know that they know my face now. All right, I finally finished. There is a little bit towards the beginning, technically, when I worked my way from the front door to the garage door. This section by the front door, there are some things that I'm just gonna call it good. It is getting very hot outside. I'm sweating very much, and I'm pretty sure the UV is now at like an 8 probably, because it was at a 6 earlier. So let me show you guys the flower bed and how much I got done. This is good. Like I said, though, there is a little bit that I just decided just to leave it. I'm just kind of over it, but otherwise, look at how good this whole flower bed looks. I even got some of the weeds right here in every crack on the sidewalk, which was really hot and annoying, but mine was chalk. That was my son drawing a road. Otherwise, look how much better it looks. It looks so good. I mean, I would love to get rid of these and put something else down, but for what we have in here, this looks good. Look at it. It looks so good. Our whole front yard does. All right, I'm back inside. I also got a popsicle for me and my son. You know how it is, hot summer day. I actually want to sit here, now that I've changed my clothes, kind of cleaned up a lot. I want to sit in here in my comfy, gigantic chair and just read. Also, this chair, I don't think I've actually mentioned it or even shown it in a video at all, mainly because of what's behind with all the paint missing on the wall and just how it was purple, and now it's like a purple, blue, gray, ugly color. And we have never painted or fixed anything with the walls or anything pretty much in the house besides like actual things like weather stripping and a back door and some other things like gutter-ish issues. We got it because of, again, Josh's grandmother passed away and nobody wanted it, I guess. And I wanted it. It was so comfy, it's so big. I did not think it was this big. It looked really small in her living room until we got it into the library, and I was like, ooh, my idea didn't really make sense. So then we had to kind of redesign, and that's why everything is on this wall, and then it's like an L-shaped, pretty much. A little bit of like a J, I guess. It's just this whole shape. It might be crowded to a point, but whatever, it's so comfy. It comes with an ottoman, and I love sitting here and reading. The only downside is when Josh is playing games and I'm trying to read, which we haven't done in a while because we've been so busy that he has not just come home and relaxed, and I haven't just sat down in here and read in a very long time. The only downside though is sometimes I fall asleep because it's that comfortable. I do want to sit in here and read, and also the book that I'm reading is actually If He Had Been With Me. I was supposed to finish this probably around the 3rd, or I wanted to finish this around the 3rd of August. I started this in July. It was on my July TBR and I just didn't finish it. I think I read it 2 days before the end of July, and I am still now only 242 pages into this book out of almost 400 pages. So I have about 150 give or take pages left, I do believe, of this book, and I don't think I'm going to finish it all today. Yesterday I read about 70 or so pages of this book. I might be able to sit here for the next maybe 2 hours and read a little bit more until I get, I'd say, at least 50 pages before. I don't think I'm going to finish it today though, so I don't think I'm going to get to that in this vlog, but I do want to sit down, read it, do a little shots, and be actually reading. That will probably be the end of this vlog. I know it's not very exciting. I know this vlog has just been us mowing, or I've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes and I haven't recorded for it, and I am so sorry about that. But I just kind of wanted to do a little vlog video, and then also just to kind of make it like an extra video, like a filler video. So if I post on a Sunday a car show video, I can post on Wednesday this video. It doesn't have to be necessarily a specific video. I just figured this would be a great like extra, like 2 times a week type video. Maybe I'll start trying to incorporate other things, like doing a whole week of reading or doing a whole week of doing the Bible that I've been thinking about. I want to finish the rest of Genesis that I have left of the Bible for my like TBR. I put that on my TBR, but it's not necessarily saying I'm going to finish it. Maybe I should start doing other video ideas. I just don't know what to do. And I feel like some of these extra videos would be good to fill in the space that I have if I'm just sitting around because I'm so bored. At the same time, sometimes we're so busy that I can't even do a video for 2 weeks. So I don't know, we'll see. But I am gonna sit here. I'm done blabbing. I'm gonna sit here and try and tackle this book. I made it to page 304. I'm gonna stop for just a little bit. I have maybe about 100 pages. I think honestly, this is just under 400 pages, so we have up to 100 pages of this book. This book has been so entertaining in a way. It's just been like fast-paced, short chapters, big font. Like, I don't have to put much brain power. I'm just kind of reading and I'm flying through the pages pretty quickly. And I don't know, it's not that I haven't been necessarily intrigued, but there's some things that I definitely didn't care much for reading about, let's just say. And then some of the things where I was like, oh, okay, I feel like this is gonna happen. I called some things that just happened, that we just read about, or I just read about at the end of these last couple chapters. And now it's like my idea of what I wanted for this book switched, and I want this to happen for this book. And then I think about the beginning of the book and how something happened, and now I'm like, oh no, here we go. I see why people by the end of this book get really sad. I see it. I think I'm starting to hit that. The last almost 100 pages are going to be a roller coaster. I'm letting ourselves have about 20 minutes or so to get ready, just because if you have a kid, you know, especially around the 4 to 6 age group, I'm gonna say. I am going to stop at page 352. I am so close to finishing this book. I'm basically 40 pages away. It's getting good. It's also getting exactly on the track that I thought it was going to, or the path that I thought it was going to take. And now I'm even more scared to finish this book. So far, I love it though. For it being such a simple, easy to read book, I feel like it's like a 4-star so far. We'll see with the ending. All right, everybody, I want to come on here and do a little update. First off, I want to say after practice, we came back home and I finished the last, I think it was like 30 pages actually, that I had left to read, because I read a little bit at practice. So I seen that come in with the book. I mean, you are kind of told in the beginning of the book, but I seen it come in. I was expecting everything that happened. Am I sad about it? Not really. Like, I'm a little like, oh, I seen it come in, and it still kind of was like, oh, that's sad. But it wasn't one that affected me too much. I still enjoyed the book though. Like, overall, it was a good little in-between type read, where I knew I had a really good book that I wanted to read, or hopefully it's going to be really good, but a good author to me, book that I want to read next. And then I was coming off the book I had just finished, so this was a good little in-between, fast-paced, no really thought type book, which I really enjoyed that aspect. And also, this was my 30th book of the year. I completed my first book goal, which I always have 2 book goals, so that was great. And I crossed another book off my 2025 list, so both of those are good. And pretty much that was the only thing I was going to do, and then I was going to close this out. However, I'm going to go work out downstairs, so I might include a little bit of clips from that, and then I'm going to go to bed. It is almost midnight. Tomorrow, when I have better lighting, I'll probably close out this vlog. That's my goal. Every night I pretty much work out, but I'm gonna try and do a little bit more tonight and go downstairs and use our nice little gym equipment that we have down there. So let me go ahead and go work out. Thank you all so much for watching this vlog. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I am so sorry that majority of it was yard work, either mowing or just working on the flower bed. I feel like there wasn't much I did, even though I have started to edit this video, and I realized it's going to be over 30 minutes long, so I guess I found enough footage to put into it. If it's a little bit boring, I am so sorry. I appreciate you guys watching this video, especially if you watched it all the way through, and I hope to see you in another video here on my channel, and as always, God bless.